It's 8 p.m. and here are our top stories in 90 seconds.
It'll take a few weeks to get through everybody in an eligible group.
Colorado opens vaccine eligibility tomorrow to its largest group yet. If you're one of the 2.5 million people looking for an appointment, we have some ways to make things easier.
I think it's important to weigh out the pros and cons, try to understand the statistical significance of certain things.
For pregnant women, there is a lot of misinformation about getting the vaccine. We answer some of the top concerns.
There's really no reason to think that the vaccines would have an adverse reaction to the pregnancy.
A semi-truck crashes into a natural gas line in Weld County, sending alerts to residents living in a mile radius, where the investigation stands right now. Plus, we're learning more about the victims of the deadly spa shootings near Atlanta.
I can't put any reasoning behind why somebody would want to do something so horrific to such nice people.
Now more lawmakers on Capitol Hill are demanding more attention be put on attacks against Asian Americans.
There is a systemic problem here.
We are in pain, and for the last year, we've been screaming out for help.
And we have a 360 look at creating a public option for health insurance in Colorado.
Coloradans are ready for a new day in our state.
Will it save you money? Or is it just a proposal with no chance of passing?
It sets us up for failure.
Good Thursday evening, and thank you for watching Denver7 News on Local 3. I'm Jessica Porter. Tomorrow, 2.5 million Coloradans become eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine. That is by far the largest group eligible yet. Among those becoming eligible are people aged 50 and older, frontline essential workers, including those that work in restaurants, the Postal Service, and faith leaders. Also, people ages 16 and up can get the vaccine if they have one of the higher risk conditions. You can find the full list of who is eligible for the vaccine right now on the state's COVID website. And we know many of you have had problems finding vaccine appointments already. The state says it could take several weeks for you to find an appointment, so just stay patient and keep checking every day. You can find vaccine appointment availability within a certain radius of your zip code on vaccinefinder.org. We know as more Coloradans get vaccinated, there will be more questions about vaccine safety. Tonight, we are answering questions for pregnant women. A woman in Florida who received her vaccine just gave birth to a baby who has antibodies for COVID. Denver7's Addie Guajardo spoke with health experts to help you make an informed decision.
Nearly 100 days ago, the first COVID-19 shot was administered in the U.S. Since then, women have wondered how it could impact their pregnancy.
Let's talk about pregnancy
and fertility.
This was a very popular session.
The University of Washington School of Medicine hosted a webinar with a group of women health experts to shed light on growing concerns.
What are the potential side effects down the track, either breastfeeding or fertility-wise? Is it possible that this will impact my ability to get pregnant?
These are the questions Jada Campbell asked herself. The mother wants to expand her family in the future.
I hope to have at least 2 or 3. It's a debate with my husband.
Dr. Elisa Kachikis, a professor in maternal fetal medicine at the University of Washington, was part of the panel. She's aware of misinformation and hesitation.
There's really no reason to think that the vaccines would have an adverse reaction to the pregnancy or cause other side effects like infertility.
Data on the impacts of the vaccine on pregnancy is limited because trials typically exclude pregnant women.
You can look at the data, not having data both ways. You can say that there's no data to say that it's safe, but there's also no data to say that it's not safe. And we know that the vaccine has been very safe in non-pregnant people.
What we do know is that new studies are revealing glimpses of information. A recent Reuters article revealed Israeli researchers found antibodies in the newborns of 20 women who received the Pfizer vaccine through placenta transfer. In Florida, a woman who got the Moderna shot gave birth to a baby with COVID-19 antibodies. More studies are needed, but Dr. Kachiki says this is common with other vaccines given to pregnant women.
That antibody to the COVID-19 vaccine will cross over the placenta to the fetus and thereby protect the newborn for the first few months of life.
She says getting the shot can prevent serious health effects if the mother contracts COVID-19.
Pregnant people are at higher risk for adverse events with this infection, including needing to be admitted to the hospital, needing to be admitted to the ICU.
There's a lot of rumors out there that it could cause sterilization or the possibility of birth defects. Can you address those for us?
Yeah, those are rumors. There's really no evidence that points to that.
Jade weighed her options.
So I think it's important to weigh out the pros and cons.
After consulting friends and reading medical research on the vaccine, at the end of the day, everyone has a choice. And if you're not sure, experts recommend talking to your doctor.
So I'm currently registered to get it on Wednesday.
Addie Guajardo, Denver7.
2 weeks from tomorrow, Ball Arena will be allowed to welcome in up to 4,000 fans for Avs and Nuggets games. Fans are pumped. Players can't wait, but it's vendors who have the most reason to be excited.
It's been a year sitting around and trying to get Uncle Sam to do what's right for us, trying to get back to work. We want to be back, and we want to give you the experiences that you guys deserve, that you paid for. And we are more than anxious to get back and do that for you.
While the general public won't be allowed in until April, frontline workers and first responders will be in the stands to see the Nuggets play on March 30th and the Avs on March 31st. The Rapids plan to have fans in the stands for their home opener in April. That's on the 24th. The Rapids say they are working with the state about how to do so safely. No word on how many fans are allowed in the stands just yet. All evacuation orders have been lifted and a fire has been put out after a semi-truck crashed into a natural gas line in Weld County. This happened at Weld County Roads 29 and 72, just west of Eaton. The driver of the semi got himself to the hospital. The extent of his injuries are not known, but thankfully no one else was injured. Tonight, flags at the Colorado State Capitol are flying at half-staff to honor the victims of the deadly spa shootings near Atlanta. Governor Polis has ordered flags across the state be flown at half-staff through sunset on Monday. Tomorrow, President Joe Biden will meet with Asian American leaders in Atlanta about these attacks. The president and Vice President Kamala Harris were originally headed to Atlanta to promote COVID relief. As ABC's Elwin Lopez reports, Asian American advocates and lawmakers are demanding answers and protection.
The House Judiciary Committee taking up the issue of violence and discrimination against Asian Americans.
Asian Americans have been fighting an additional virus of hate and bigotry. Anti-Asian rhetoric like China virus, Kung flu, have left Asian Americans traumatized and fearful for their lives.
Among those testifying, California Representative Michelle Steele, one of the first Korean American women to serve in Congress.
Combating hate is not a partisan issue. We can all agree that violence against any community should never be tolerated.
The White House pointing the finger at the previous administration.
Calling COVID, the Wuhan virus has elevated threats against Asian Americans, and we're seeing that around the country.
Today's hearings on the heels of Tuesday's deadly shootings in Metro Atlanta.
This has become almost a daily tragedy and has had a chilling effect on our community.
Robert Aaron Long now charged with murder for killing 8 people at 3 separate locations. 6 of the victims, Asian women.
Women are disproportionately impacted by anti-Asian harassment and violence in the past years.
Police say they have not eliminated hatred as a motive, whether it be against women, Asians, or both.
The investigation into a possible hate crime.
Our investigation is looking at everything, so nothing is off the table.
Here in Colorado, community organizers are trying to take proactive steps to prevent violence. Tonight, the Denver Asian American Pacific Islander Commission hosted a virtual town hall to discuss prevention and protection. One of the tools discussed will be a new reporting tool specific for Colorado. Other organizers discussed elderly outreach so those of Asian descent feel supported to speak up if they're a hate crime victim. In a new report from the nonprofit Stop AAPI Hate, 37 hate incidences were documented in Colorado. The town hall comes after Westminster Police held their own show of solidarity today, pledging to thoroughly investigate bias-motivated crimes.
We will diligently investigate all crimes perpetuated on any race, ethnicity, gender, belief, religion, language, skin color, or any other factor where hatred and bias contribute or is a reason for victimizing people in Westminster.
Turn to Channel 7 tonight at 10 as we look deeper into what kind of protections will be made available for Asian American Coloradans.
I have also decided not to invest in my future with wanting to buy a house, with wanting to save money, or even take care of my student loans.
Coloradans forced to put life milestones on the back burner due to high health care deductibles.
This puts me in a very difficult financial situation.
Tonight, we have a 360 discussion on a Democratic plan to create a state-run public health care option in Colorado.
Our temperatures continue to rebound, 40s and 50s on the way, but also the next chance of snow.
And coming up later, the Broncos say goodbye to fan favorite Phillip Lindsay.